In this demo, we'll be looking at the latest refurbished Copilot Studio UI design and how to build a Copilot using Dataverse as the knowledge source, and also utilize the GPT model for creating prompt actions. Heading over to the Copilot Studio, there is a lot of new refinement in the UI, meaning you can create a plain vanilla Copilot by clicking on this. And Microsoft is providing quite a lot of templates out here pre-built for you to develop on top of that. If you look at the Safety Travel or Safe Travels Copilot, they have bundled in a URL as the knowledge source, and likewise, the rest of the templates does have its own input knowledge bases. This is very straightforward, and you can also use the Copilot prompt. If you go to the home page, you could use this section here to ask the Copilot to create a Copilot agent. In this demo, we're going to focus more on how to use Dataverse as the only data source and keeping away the AI generative inputs plus Bing search and other related public websites and SharePoint out of the scope. Now, we create a blank Copilot and tell the Copilot that we're only going to use Dataverse as the data source. So I'm not going to chat with the Copilot here to provide that Copilot experience. I would go pretty quickly to just create a vanilla blank Copilot. And then I would connect to the Dataverse and see how it works. So the first thing you have to do is, if you do not want the AI generated content to automatically be a part of your search results or Q&A outcomes, you just have to disable that one. And once you're done, you're pretty much taking control of this Copilot, and you decide what knowledge source the Copilot has to utilize while responding to the user's questions. Public website, it's pretty straightforward, and we could also upload files and point to the SharePoint OneDrive with the proper Enter ID authentication. Fabric is on its way. For this demo, I'll be focusing only on Dataverse. And you would have an account table anyways in your Dataverse as a templated table. So we could use account for this demo purpose. And these are the records that's out in there. And click on next. Now this is the prompt that's going to be used by the system, where it would use this account table for answering it. We could also change this if you want to give a more meaningful description. For example, pointing it to the data source, which is the accounts table, and then we click on add. Once that is done, it would be added as a knowledge source out here, as you can see here, and then we have to publish it. It takes a while based on the size of the table and the data in there, the relationship between the columns. But I guess this account table doesn't have too much of data, so we should be able to see the outcomes pretty faster. Now, you could add more than one table, and that's something that we could also have a look real quick. So now the Copilot is only trying to answer the questions from Dataverse table as an input. It does not have any other knowledge such as SharePoint or files or public website. This way, you pretty much control the quality of the data that's going to come out of the responses. And in a way, it's pretty secure as well, because Dataverse is within your environment and it's not using a Bing search or a third-party search provider to provide you the result. The status says ready, which means we are good to go. And we publish this Copilot and then give a quick test and see the results coming from the Dataverse table itself. All right, so it's time to test the Copilot. So I'm asking the Copilot to provide the list of active accounts using this prompt. And it goes and provides those 10 accounts. And not only it just provides those accounts from the Dataverse table, it also provides me a link to that table, which is nothing but our Dataverse or the Dynamics URL where the accounts or active accounts are stored in here. And it only took like 5 minutes from start to at this point of time where you could effectively build a Copilot connecting to the Dataverse only. It would not provide results from an open internet or Bing search or any other data source. So you pretty much restrict the data source towards your Dataverse environment. Now, if you click on this, you would see this particular screen where you could tell the Copilot to use only the selected sources. So you just need to enable this one. And now if you wanted to add a few more tables, let's say, okay, account table is fine, but I do want to get details from the other tables. So you could add as much as tables that you want from the Dataverse and add that into your knowledge source here. And I will leave this one as is and click on add. Now we will have another table here. You just need to enable this one. So now it would start to query the contact table as well. So it is very important that you understand what data sets are you going to make it as the knowledge source behind this Copilot, and make sure you add them and then publish them. So now that we have done that, so the contact table would be available for retrieving the answers as well, just like how we got the answers from the accounts table. And if you go to knowledge here, as you can see here, now we added this contact table as well. Now let's quickly test the contact table related data. It's providing those contact details. And if you notice the URL now, it would take you to the active contact list in the Dataverse table. So that's pretty simple and very yet powerful. And you could keep on adding as much as knowledge sources that you wanted to. And there are advanced options which you could try as well. And of course, you could add your public website and SharePoint website and connections out here as well. Besides going to the knowledge, you could also do that from the data sources from that place as well. Now, the final part about this particular demo, we saw the Dataverse as the only source of knowledge and how to connect multiple tables. And now we could also see how we could add a prompt action that would utilize the Dataverse table. So this would be integrated to M365 as well. You click on prompt, and then you write a prompt query and add the data source as an input. And then you select either GPT 4.0 or any other latest model that's available for you to trigger those responses. I'll say GPT prompt. And here is this and click on insert. And here you can click on add data. And now you would have a similar option of choosing the Dataverse table. And your output would be text. If you want JSON, that's totally fine. And here is where you would select the model that you wanted to choose. I only have GPT-4, but in the latest version, you would have GPT-4o as well. And you set this temperature based on the predictable results that you want to have. So now you come here and insert that table. And within the table, it would ask you for those columns that you wanted to be more specific, because a table would have hundreds of columns. You don't want to bring in every column in there. To make it very reasonable and to the point, where the outcome is exactly what the customer or the end user needs. In this case, I would use account name, and I can also use any other things from that table, but for the demo purposes, we will just stick to email and account name from the Dataverse table that we just inserted. And then you can also give some instructions like, please use professional tone in the answer. And now this has been selected, and GPT-4 has been selected as well. And you could test the prompt right in here. And this would query this prompt, look into the data sources, and also take into account the instructions that we gave on, what the tone looks like, friendly and professional. And it should provide you the answer as an end result. And this is particularly useful when you wanted to create a quick, actionable prompt action where you could save this as one of the prompt, so that when you go to the Copilot agent or chatbot, you do not want to key all these typical questions. This would, once you finalize this prompt, this would be available for you to utilize within the Copilot Studio. Meaning, when I was chatting with the Copilot that was just created, I was giving those prompts like, give me the top 10 accounts, top 5 contacts, and stuff like that. So to make it much more robust and easier for the end user, you might as well work with your business experience team or user experience team and create these defined prompts. You would know what are the most asked questions, and then use that prompt in your Copilot automatically. So as an example, we just created this Copilot and we were asking a few questions on accounts and contacts. So you do not want to keep typing that. That prompt actions could be brought in, integrated in here, and the user can just click on that and get those results. That's pretty much about this quick demo. And as you can see, you do have option to create a lot of knowledge sources. This demo is only focused on particular Dataverse table, and also letting the Copilot know that the data source is only those tables and no other data sources. So we kind of control the outcome ourselves. And this could be one of the very good use cases where you have some really financial accounting firms responding to Q&As on a specific internal data. It could be in Dataverse or SQL or any other data sources, but you're going to be configure that in a very pointed way, so it doesn't bring in any other external data sources or data inputs that is not configured here. Thank you.